So Angie, how long have you been on the committee?
Angie?
Over a year?
A year?
I mean, you've been on it like 2 years.
2 years, yeah.
Well, hey everybody, we will welcome you to the Fall Creek Township Advisory Board meeting. We're going to go ahead and get this started. We do want to welcome our guests. We have several people here this evening. We appreciate you guys coming out. We do have an agenda. We're going to kind of work our way through that. We will have some time for comments by the public, so that will be near the end. First, we want to call the meeting to order. We're going to start with the Pledge of Allegiance. So if you please stand, raise flag right behind us. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Call this meeting to order. Andrew is present. Kyle Hall is present. Chase is in the field. Joey Cooper, trustee, is present. Sabrina Criswell, deputy trustee, is present as well. All right, we're going to start with the minutes from the last meeting. Trustee Cooper, do you want to read those?
I've got them here. So this was the Tuesday, August 26th meeting. Meeting was called to order at 6 p.m. by Board President Kyle Hall. The meeting started with the Pledge of Allegiance. Members present were Kyle Hall and Chase Heimholt. Board member Angie Beck was absent. Happy anniversary.
That's right.
Also present was Township Trustee Joey Cooper and Middletown Fall Creek Township Park Superintendent Rusty Connor. Previous meeting minutes approved by a motion by Heimholt and a second by Hall. All voted yes. Heimholt made a motion to adopt a resolution accepting the donation of the old Middletown High School gymnasium from the Shenandoah School Corporation. The motion was seconded by Hall. All voted yes. Trustee Cooper presented a draft policy for the Township Board to review regarding operation of the gymnasium. He stated that this is a starting point for policies regarding use of the gym, fees, and receiving public feedback on the operation of the gym. The board took the draft under advisement. Trustee Cooper stated that the fire chief and EMS chief will be meeting with the Township Fire Protection Territory attorney and financial advisor on September 9 regarding adoption of the proposed territory. Heimholt made a motion to amend the 2025 salary resolution. Hall seconded. All voted yes. Heimholt also made a motion to approve the 2026 salary resolution. Hall seconded. All voted yes. The board held a public hearing on capital improvement plan as required by Indiana Code 36-6-9. There were no public comments. Heimholt made a motion to adopt the resolution approving the capital improvement plan. The motion was seconded by Hall. All voted yes. Nothing more to come before the board. Heimholt motion to adjourn with Hall providing the second. All voted in favor. Meeting adjourned.
All right. Any corrections or amendments to the minutes?
If not, I'll need your signature.
If not, I need a motion to approve. Motion's been made. We approve the minutes from the prior meeting. I second it. All those in favor say aye.
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 I'm in it.
Unanimous. All right, moving on to some old business. Deputy Trustee Criswell, do you have anything for the Township Assistance Report?
Well, I can update you where we're at. We've had
Alright.
54 applicants this year. We have used 33,489 out of that fund. We have about 7,000 left. Rents are astronomically high right now, and that has really affected us whenever people's rents are $1,200, $1,300.
Every time, yeah.
We're told by state law it's all or nothing, so that's where we're at. So,
Nice. Well, good. I mean, that's the most, that's probably the
but we've
most,
helped a lot of people.
I would
We
say
have
that's
helped
probably
a
the
lot of
most we've ever
people.
done, in at least my terms, so appreciate that update. Let's see, Trustee Cooper, you want to talk a little bit about the Indiana Township consolidation?
Sure.
Legislature update?
So this is under old business because it's something we've talked about, obviously, for several years now. There's ongoing concern at the state level about townships, the operation of townships. So Sabrina and I attended the Township Education Conference September 21 through the 24th. So we met with a lot of the other trustees and boards from across the state. What's interesting about township government is how different every township is. So you have townships that show up that have a $30 million budget. You have townships that have a $500 budget. There are trustees that you know, only help 1 or 2 people a year. You have trustees that have a staff of 25 people just to process all the applications for assistance. So you got this very huge range. There are 1,002 townships currently in the state. There's going to be some voluntary consolidation at the end of this year, so we'll probably dip under 1,000 townships. And there is a push at the state level from the legislature to see that number be forced to be much more dramatic. At the conference, they talked about a number between 40 and 60% of townships being consolidated. This was brought up last year at the conference, and again, it's come up this year. The common wisdom coming from the State House right now is you guys figure out how to do this, or we'll make you do it the way we make you do it, and then you won't have much choice. So something that we're looking at with that is just whether we still want local control. There are communities that are okay with giving that away. So typically, whatever law will be passed, because they have presented hundreds of these bills over the years. The last 25 years, they've been talking about this. So most of these bills, when they're proposed, talk about things like township assistance being done at the county level, fire protection being done by somebody else other than township. So it really comes down to that question of, do you want local control of it or not? When I took office, that was something that we sort of made our strategy from my viewpoint of, we want decisions to be made locally. We don't want the county council, we don't want someone from out of our area making decisions on, are we buying a fire truck? Are we giving assistance away? Because in the past, every time there's been a decision that's not local here, it seems like it doesn't go in our favor. We have not done well with that. So one of the things that came up at the conference was, what will the criteria be for townships to consolidate? So at the end of the day, if there's 40% fewer townships, that means they got to get rid of 400 townships. So there's 400 townships out there that aren't providing services or aren't up to this level that wherever they're going to make this criteria. So we want to make sure, if we want that local choice still, that we're meeting that. One of the big ones is providing public assistance. So what Sabrina's doing, we check a huge box there that we can prove to the public that we are doing a great job of taking resources we have and providing public assistance. That's utility assistance, rent assistance, when people come on part-time. The thing that people don't always see with that is some of the case management. I know Sabrina just this week, she's dealing with Social Security, disability. She's helping these people navigate a lot of things. So there's more than just the financial assistance. It's kind of like local case management. So that's a big part. Another part is the fire protection. Townships are tasked with fire protection. There's a rumor that they're talking about doing a county-wide fire protection all over the state. So every county would, either the commissioners or the county council, or maybe an elected official, like an elected fire chief, would be in charge of deciding how fire protection is done. Again, coming back from my strategy of local decisions, I don't like that. I don't like the idea that a fire truck that we paid for that's sitting in our station, someone might decide, well, that could be better used in the center of the county. Because that's the decisions they're going to be faced with. So we just don't like that idea. So that was another tenet, and that is why we were aggressively pursuing the fire territory. Currently on paper, even though we provide a huge amount of funding for this building, for the fire department, we've helped pay for that fire truck, we're buying an ambulance right now. On paper, the town still operates the fire department. We don't come away with anything. So on paper, it looks like we're writing 2 checks a year and then we're out. We know that we're more involved than that, but the fire territory would make it so that we would be a provider unit. So that would be, we would be in charge of the administration on the financial side of the fire department, and helping us with the consolidation bill. It would show that fire department operation is under the township. So it could really help us if a consolidation happened. So those are kind of the things we're working on that level. I will continue to update you guys. Rumor is they are probably also doing a special session. This could come up in a special session. Fire territories, townships, kind of a hot topic right now, so.
Well, thanks for both of you guys going to that and learning a little bit. I know, we've been talking about that. Ben, you remember that's one of the things we talked about when we talked about that merger 3-4 years ago, trying to merge, because that has been brought up, and you lose a lot of your control when that occurs. So I think the main thing, and you're doing a great job trying to make sure that we have some saying things by building, especially if we get to the fire territory where we're the one that's controlling, all those entities.
And I feel strongly that it does come down to those local decisions.
It does.
There's nobody in this room that wants to come to meetings every month, that wants to deal with this. We're not here because these are our full-time jobs. This is all we're trying to serve the community, and I feel like there's going to be such burnout from volunteer firefighters and EMTs when they find out that the decisions, when they need to go buy a new ambulance, they got to go to somebody at the county level to ask for that funding. I think it's just going to make the situation that much worse. So I feel an obligation that we have to fight for this.
Well, yeah.
I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. It might end up, they might eliminate township government altogether. That's always been rumored as well.
Yeah.
But I feel like we owe it to our community to at least try.
Yeah, I think we're doing as much as we can at this point. So appreciate everything you guys do. So Brandon, thanks for all you're doing with all the assistance. It's good. All right, some new business. Indiana Township Association, speaking of that, the Fire Protection Territory Training Session is scheduled coming up November 5th. I don't know if you want to talk about that. It's going to be in
Yes.
Fishers, correct?
Yeah, so it's going to be, they're trying to put it as central as possible. I know that the township trustee from Vernon Township, she is helping to organize this. They started a fire territory a few years ago, so they decided to do some training for other townships. They specifically invited fire chiefs, so I went ahead and extended an invitation to our fire chiefs. So I plan on going as well. I know it's during the week, so
Yeah.
it's tough, but I'm definitely making an effort. I know some of them are going to be there. So if you guys are interested in going, we'd certainly like to have you. I understand in the middle of the week during the day like that, it's tough. So
Yeah.
but that is coming up on November 5.
Just so the public knows, obviously one of the things the township is working with the town. We're looking to try and pursue a fire territory again. It's a little different than the first time we did it. Last time we did it, it was not including the EMS. This time we're merging with the EMS, becoming one unit. Again, a lot of benefits. So Joey's been doing a lot of good work on trying to get that education out there. We've had a couple of very productive meetings with I don't know what law firm it was. Is it Ice Miller?
No, it's Todd Young and Frost.
Yeah, so we had two lawyers come in and talk to us a little bit about that. We had the fire chief, the EMS chief. We were all together in a room and kind of went through and said, hey, here's what our goals are. We had some really good information. So we're just kind of starting that. Again, we think that's could be very beneficial because, yeah, it could be a hard time, especially with the way local government's going right now and funding. And so that is going to be coming up. So appreciate you putting some education opportunities on there. Public hearing on the 2026 township budget. That's one of the main reasons we're here tonight. Following the hearing tonight, the Board of Fall Creek Township will meet to adopt the budget on October 20th. So again, this is the second time that we have talked about the budget, correct?
Yeah, so we did our capital improvement plan. That was the first part last month.
So this is our second kind of part of
Yep,
it.
so
And then we will meet on the third time to actually adopt the budget on the 20th. So I'll let you talk a little.
Yeah, I just got a short paragraph I need to read.
Yeah.
So the notice is hereby given taxpayers of Fall Creek Township, Henry County, Indiana. The proper officers of Fall Creek Township will conduct a public hearing on the year 2026 budget, 6 p.m. September 30th, 2025 at Middletown Municipal Building, 653 Locust, Middletown, Indiana. Following this meeting, any 10 or more taxpayers may object to a budget, tax rate, or tax levy by filing an objection petition with the proper officers of Fall Creek Township, not more than 7 days after the hearing. The objection petition must identify the provisions of the budget, tax rate, or tax levy to which taxpayers object. If a petition is filed, Fall Creek Township shall adopt with the budget a finding concerning the objections in the petition and testimony presented. Following the aforementioned hearing, the proper officers of Fall Creek Township will meet to adopt the following budget on October 20th, 2025 at 6 p.m. Complete details of budget estimates by fund and or department may be seen by visiting the offices of this unit of government at 653 Locust. This was dated July 31, 2025. So this was the notice that was put on the Indiana Gateway website. By law, we have to advertise it on the Indiana Gateway website. We have also put notices in the local newspaper to make sure that everyone is aware of these hearings. So we did our capital improvement plan adoption last month. This month, this is just a hearing for the budget, so we're not passing the budget tonight. We're just here to take any public comments. So if anyone has any public comments about the budget.
Are there copies available to review?
Yeah, so you go on the Gateway website, or you can come by our office and we can print you out a copy. By law, all units of government publish on the Gateway website, so your libraries, your schools, everybody. It's basically my pastime just to go on there and read everybody's budget. You can fall down a rabbit hole there. So our next meeting on October 20th is when we will adopt the budget. The capital improvement plan that we passed last month, it was a requirement that we could not get a tax levy unless we did a capital improvement plan. So there's been some changes in the laws there. So we passed that, and then we have our budget.
All right, thank you. All right, next we're going to talk about the interlocal agreement. One of the things that is occurring is we're working with the EMS department to purchase a new ambulance. So the township is involved in that, and Joey's doing a great job. We are working on through a bond with that as well. So tonight we got to look at a resolution to adopt an interlocal agreement between Fall Creek Township and Middletown involving the insurance. So Joey, do you need to talk anything about that? Or
let me just summarize some of this. I'm not going to read the whole thing. It's about 4 pages, so I will read some of the big paragraphs, and if you guys have any questions, I can fill you in more. This interlocal agreement is entered into by and between Fall Creek Township, a political subdivision of the state of Indiana, and the town of Middletown, Indiana, a municipal corporation, pursuant to the authority granted by Indiana Code 36-1-7. The purpose of this agreement is to establish the responsibilities of the township and the town regarding the ownership and insurance of the ambulance. The township shall retain all legal ownership and title to the ambulance. The town acknowledges that it has no ownership interest in the ambulance. The township will be responsible for obtaining license plates for the ambulance. The town shall be responsible for insuring the ambulance during the term of this agreement. The insurance shall include, at a minimum, comprehensive and collision coverage, liability coverage in accordance with the limits required by Indiana law, coverage for any equipment permanently affixed to the ambulance. The town shall name the township as an additional insured and loss payee on the insurance policy covering the ambulance. Proof of insurance, including a certificate of insurance, shall be provided to the township upon the execution of this agreement and promptly upon any renewal or modifications of such policy. Town shall be responsible for the regular maintenance and operational readiness of the ambulance during the term of this agreement. The ambulance shall be used exclusively for official emergency response and related public safety purposes. This agreement shall be approved by the respective legislative bodies of the township and the town and filed with the State Board of Accounts as required under Indiana Code 36-1-7-6. So this resolution, or this agreement rather, was already passed by the town council. So they have signed off on it. So we just need a resolution to approve this. This is a little bit of a change in how we've done it in the past. In the past, when the township has bought vehicles for the fire department and the ambulance, we've donated the vehicles to the town. So the fire truck that's out there, we paid our 50% of the cost of that fire truck. It's paid off now. On paper, the town owns 100%. So every payment that we made was just a donation to the town. So we don't have anything to show for it. With this ambulance, we are buying this ambulance and it's going to be property of the township. This is just another thing. We would have spent this money anyway. We've done it for the last 40 years. The township has supported the ambulance and the fire department. But it was just easier in the past to just let the town own everything for insurance, for everything. However, with this consolidation effort that's going on, it looks like on paper that we don't provide ambulance service.
We didn't have any assets.
So it's important for us to have some capital assets. So, so that's why we're doing it this way. We're gonna retain ownership of, and title it, under the township, but the town will continue to operate the ambulance, they'll continue to
Yeah.
insure it.
Yeah.
So I'm
So
just
no,
looking
this-
for
yeah.
a resolution.
Yeah, and this moves towards our goals. We talked about when we came in, the township had no assets, and it's, you go to consolidation and they look at you and say, we have no assets, you don't really provide much, you're easy to get rid of, so.
Every unit of government's required to have a capital asset
Yep.
list, and
Yep.
ours every
We
year
never
has
had one. when we
nothing
came
on.
in. So yeah, I just need a motion to approve this resolution. Got a motion by Angie, seconded by me. All those in favor, say aye.
Okay.
Unanimous. All right, well, I think this is why our illustrious guests are here. So, originally they had it kind of as a storage location for them, and then I think Joe's dad and the school kind of made a commitment to kind of clean that up and make it playable so that they were able to start hosting some practices and some games and different things in there. There's still several things that need to occur. I know the main thing we've discussed is that there's got to be some work to the roof. The roof is probably the number one priority to get that taken care of first, and then there is some heating. There is no cooling. We're not expecting it to be the Taj Mahal, but I think there are some improvements there. Really fortunate they did get some functioning restrooms, so there is, I believe, at least two, right? Two functioning restrooms. There is some heat right now. I think there's at least one, maybe. Kind of a garage style heater that's up in the corner. They had two. I'm not sure that they're all still working, but and I think they got the scoreboard working at one point. So yeah, it's moving in the right direction. The other main thing, and I think we already have people working on that, is secure the entrance, because the entrance was just, it's still those same doors that when I was in elementary that were there. So
Some people have a hard time getting the key out.
yes, that's what it hurts. So
He caught me one day, I
Yeah.
was going, which I do have an update, it's
Good.
not easy
Yeah,
to
go ahead.
hear. Okay, so I met with Draper, gym equipment, so Draper's the manufacturer.
Yeah.
We met with Jed Vardaman,
Okay.
they were checking out, the goals are, stationary. We checked to see if we could get a mobile goal, so the stage would not be, it would not be in the way of the stage. So I got a quote back for one goal with, installation came to $12,500, which I thought that wasn't as scary as I thought it was gonna be. If we did, I don't know that it's necessary to have two, but if people wanna have two, we could have two, to match. We also inquired about volleyball, so that way, I asked Jed for any, I welcome anything he would like to suggest that he sells that might benefit us. We do hope to write grants. Luckily, I know a guy who knows a lot about basketball places.
Might work for the Hall of Fame even, right?
Yeah, so I'm hoping to get that donor list. And also, he had a meeting with Indiana Landmarks, and he mentioned that we were working on this, so that woman said that would be great.
Yeah.
So we are getting the right people. I'm learning to grant write, but it's just getting connected with people who are interested in
Yeah.
basketball or gyms. We also, shoot, where are we going? It just left me, but I had something else.
Yeah.
But
The one thing I think is interesting though is, the size of the courts have changed, so I don't think it's a
It's not
regulation
regulation
court.
size.
So you could never host like any kind of, official.
Yeah.
even there, but
So, and that's what, of course, people see in the newspaper that we've got it, and so we're already getting quite a few calls,
Oh, yeah.
hey, can we use it for this or that? And, one thing that we pledged to the school was we were gonna honor any kind of
practice from them, the school.
reservations that they had already made or for the school. So there were several groups that already are using it coming up. One thing we talked about at last month's meeting is we are gonna do this website. We've got it set up, it's live. We just don't know, like, from the
When do we
board,
want to turn it on?
well, like, what do we wanna charge?
Yeah, because we
So-
did, so
we had put a placeholder in there,
Yeah.
that said $25 to rent it or something like that, but we
Yeah.
kinda need to get an idea from the board of,
Yeah.
Obviously, one of the goals is just see people in there.
Mhm.
At the same time, when we are heating it, when it is being used, it's costing the township money, so
Yeah.
we obviously can't do everything for free. So that's one of those things. we can kind of go live with that as soon as we have some policies in place. I had handed out policies last month. Andy was here. So this is just a draft. This is just something we came up with looking at certain policies. We've already gotten questions about, can we use alcohol in the gym? You know, if my group is coming in, are we allowed to use alcohol? In the past, the school obviously had a policy against that. The other thing that we've had going on is that the gym is still insured by the school right now. We're working with their insurance company and our insurance company to transfer that over, but it has not officially transferred over. So any use of the gym right now still has to fall within school policy. I'm not necessarily one way or the other on price or anything like that. I'm here to take input on that. I think the basketball goals are not in bad shape. There's definitely been some people who've mentioned, hey, it'd be nice to be able to use that stage again for an event. When I walk in there, all I see is that basketball goal in the way. Like that's a problem. So as Sabrina said, you know, to get a matching pair would be $25,000. The ones that we have right now still work. You know, it's just a matter of, do we want to use the stage? So those are some of those things that I think we kind of have to consider. One thing that we put in the draft policy was just taking public input annually. I feel like it's important that the gym is there for the public. So you know, I'd like to listen to what people want to use it for. I know our goal has been since the beginning to just see it get used. Like we hated to see a building just turn into a shed. What that ultimately looks like, I don't know exactly. If these guys are looking to help fund some projects, I think that's where we can kind of definitely get along really well, because as I look at the building, I see so many things that could be done. I start to dream. I've had people already stop by while I'm there, and they're like, I'd like to see all these windows opened up. I'd like to see windows restored to how it looked back in the day. I think right now every window in the building is covered with plywood. I don't even know what that would cost. You know, I have an issue with not having air conditioning in the building. I think it severely limits your use in the summer, which might be when you get a lot of events and things. Again, what does a commercial air conditioning unit for a building that big cost? You know, I don't know how ambitious Ben, your group is on how high we want to go. I feel like we will prioritize from a township standpoint to things that help preserve the building for the protection of the building. So when we get to the point where that roof needs replaced, we're not going to let the building fall in. Like we're going to find a way to pay for that roof, just like the door. Like we're having issues with the door and securing that. I feel like that's a priority. So when it's a question of, are we doing a basketball goal or the front doors, I kind of know where I fall on that. It's keeping that building for future generations. Is kind of my priority.
So obviously real estate stuff, just a kind of a background as well, is normally when you have a real estate transaction, there's an inspection.
Yes. So
that's one thing that we could pursue is have an inspection done to see what they would recommend. The other thing is in construction.
They might have a coronary.
You be careful.
Pass out.
The other thing is, and Ben probably knows this from construction stuff, is sometimes you open Pandora's box when you start doing construction, because I know in the school world, like if you touch something, for example, bleachers, you're going to do anything, everything's got to become ADA compliant. It just becomes a snowball. So you do have to worry about that as well. But I mean, that's the things we need to get into and say, okay, what can we do that is not going to create a huge mess? But we definitely want to the floor is something that'll have to be maintained and taken care of yearly. And so yeah, I mean, I think that's where we get together, put our heads together and say, okay, we know the roof's going to be a priority. We got to get that so we don't have any water damage. And then
does anyone even have an idea on like the front door? I went to my commercial door guy. Like I know what he's done there. But when we're talking windows on the side of the gym that are above the bleachers, who even does something like that? Like, is there companies that specialize in that? Because I don't want to put in commercial windows.
Contact who your gym.
You know, I'd want something that fits with the fits with
people
the style.
have already done all these
Yeah.
things, so that's people who would have great ideas.
Great
I think
idea.
that's a good idea.
I don't know who's in charge of it, but
But that's what the company's called?
It's
No.
the one over in Nice
Nice, yeah.
Gym.
Oh,
Yeah, that's your
okay.
gym, the people that run that.
They've been very-
we need, in my opinion, that's where you need to head. You don't want to change the looks of this gym very much.
You don't, I agree, you wanna keep it as,
Because I think the state, and maybe even farther than that, would come in and help us on this building as well.
And I think Kyle made an excellent point when it comes to digging into too much of a remodel, because I'd like to preserve it as much as possible, but there's some old pipes, there's an old boiler down there. There's reasons that the school at one point kind of walked away from the building and said we can't use it anymore, because once you start getting into that, there's some pretty outrageous costs that could snowball. So
yeah.
I do like the fact that it's cleaned up and somebody's using it.
Yeah.
And if we can keep that going,
Yeah.
I think I'm happy.
Yeah, I mean, I think the front doors,
in that gym. It's part of the reason that I'm interested is when I was a little kid playing in my dad's goal, there by the windows, I could hear that clock ticking, and buddy, I was in the game. And I was his age and younger, and it made they want to help. They're interested in whatever they can do to cooperate. And in the same line, they are starting a group to raise funds to support some of that paving, so that people want things to happen.
Yeah.
And it'll take time, we understand that. Some of the small ticket items, there's guys that live near there that like to see things mowed nicely and are willing to kind of add
So-
that.
They are currently mowing it.
They're gonna mow it?
Yes.
Okay.
So we're not paying any money to them, but we've got a handshake agreement that they're gonna take
needs
care
to
of.
make sure
I
you're.
There's
took
one-
care of it.
what is
It'll
it,
get
one
done
strip
whether
you
they
do?
do it or not.
The other thing I want to mention was Ben had mentioned a date for like an open house.
Yep.
So I believe I talked to Kevin this morning, or maybe it was last night. he
Trying to
texted
coordinate
back.
those front doors.
So he is going to try to get there next week. From Kevin, but they acted like it would be before that, so we should be good to have that door fixed before that.
And that date's not set in stone, we just wanna get something
So I
pretty
believe-
soon so we can get it in the paper.
I believe, let me
This
check.
is an open house for the public.
Yes, to me,
The meet and greet.
So this is the 23rd of October.
Yep.
Is that correct? I'm teaching EMT class, so I would not be able to be there, but I believe the gym is open. That help me to use that. And as I said, until any kind of policy is set, we're just going with the school policies on we're not charging currently for any kind of use. But at some point, that policy will have to go into effect.
Yeah.
When you guys get that ironed out, let us know what that website is, and we'll help promote that.
It's already live, so I'll send it to you after the
Okay.
meeting. It's just a matter of like.
Back from Louisville, he and his wife both are chefs, and they did a lot of that kind of stuff, and she wanted to rent this thing for a little 4-year-old birthday party, and she's like, they only charged me $100. I just couldn't believe it,
I know, I mean, that's what I
and I
mean.
got to use the whole building.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
So
So
she
we'll
was
do some
super
research,
excited.
we'll try and get this thing done pretty quick, but.
So I'm gonna push you a little bit, okay? We're already have a professional basketball coach or player that's using the gym. And
What I
they,
asked you about?
I think so.
yeah, they fell on their face this year, and he was really discouraged, and they asked me to meet with him. And I said, don't be discouraged, because next year we're gonna promote the daylights out of this thing. He's excited.
I heard that somebody was using it during the summer. I was like, those poor kids and that poor
Oh,
adult in
yeah.
the heat.
It's
I
hot.
was just so hot.
But the kids, they don't care. The family's
fans?
Thursday night in
Yeah.
100
That's what-
degrees.
Like a big fan, if we can't,
I-
they do,
are
get
there-
the windows that open and then a fan,
I
and
want to say
then.
there's 4 ceiling fans. right there.
Yeah, I don't think they
I think
work
2 of them work right
And the
now.
windows are boarded shut, aren't they?
Yeah.
There's no, other than the
See,
doors,
that
you got
would help
no.
a lot.
Yeah.
That actually keeps it cooler.
So let me push
Yeah,
you.
it'll-
And those are big fundraisers, big fundraisers. And so that's in the works. All these coaches are fired up about this old gym. They don't care about the talk about that, and then we're going to the town board. Dan Fountain's invited me to do that, to get it on as high a priority as we can. I can tell you that 11th Street's supposed to be #1 priority to get paved next spring. And then the next priority is to replace the sidewalks and curbing around that park. So we're gonna bring that gym into the spotlight, and the park is gonna be part of that. And Rusty's getting excited about helping us get there. So get your pricing together, and don't shoot yourself short, Joey, no kidding.
Yeah.
These young people, they'll pay it.
Yeah,
So
well,
we have you guys added for the 23rd all day, so you guys will have the
Okay.
gym all day that day.
But I wanted to close and what you had stated there, that Drew went in there. I live right next door, so I can see what's happening. That guy worked his tail off to get that thing cleaned up and repaired. His efforts aren't unnoticed. A lot of people notice that. And I wanted to publicly say that and say thank you.
yeah, no, I think that was a priority for him as well.
Yeah. I mean, solo. He worked a lot of hours by himself.
Yeah.
So,
Absolutely.
well, thank you.
No, guys, appreciate you, and like I said, we're looking forward to partnering with you for sure. I think we can do some really cool things down there.
So I have a question, if
Yes,
I
sir.
could. Since I'm new to this.
Yeah.
So Joey, I know you guys just took possession of that,
Yes.
within the last month or so?
Yeah,
Okay, so if you guys, or would you be interested in sitting down as a group, and do you have a bullet list, and so we can start prioritizing what you want to get done? Obviously based on structural issues first, because I'm with you. Eventually that needs to be air conditioned. But you gotta get the windows and the roof and the doors first.
Yeah.
And then, I could see a lot of other events in there, being an
I would like to
coach.
see,
There's a lot of things.
I would definitely like to see sometime maybe this winter, meeting a few times out there. We might schedule a
Yeah.
township board meeting out there, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah,
October 1.
just create a punch list and then
Yeah, we
prioritize.
had a township board meeting out there, gosh, it's been a year ago, a couple years ago. Anyway, and that's kind of when initially, one of the things we we're like, okay, this could happen. It was just kind of starting to be talking about like Chendo and maybe willing to let it go, so yeah. We'd be more than willing to sit down. That's the only thing I don't know is it worth looking to see what an inspection, because part of it is, I know.
I'd wait until he talks to Jake,
Okay.
find out what this historic thing
So
can pull.
I happen to know that the thing that's gonna be at the top of the list after that door is fixed is going to be.
Yeah, that's why, the
roof is gonna
two
be-
priorities right now is the roof and the doors.
Yeah.
And those are
The
two
doors will be fixed in a couple weeks, and then that roof. I feel like air conditioning is a it's a great dream. I hope we get it done.
100%.
But from a structural standpoint, I don't want to see water getting in that building. Right now, it's not leaking, and we're okay, but that is a very old roof.
Yeah. The one thing I'll tell you, just from the school, like a school aspect, I know if we rent facilities out, like we require insurance policies for people to carry. So I don't know if that may be in here. But that's something we'll need to put in there too, is people. So for example, like you're talking about, the guys can run a clinic, I know. It'll be good.
Get your
Yeah.
policies together, they're ready to go,
So,
they're excited to come back.
Yeah, so yeah, we'll try and get this locked down pretty quick, so.
What's wrong with what's wrong with the
stages.
doors
Not
at the
right
gym?
now, because that
The
basketball
doors?
field-
Yeah.
or the basketball field.
So we
Number
got
one,
of
they're
those
easily
folks
jimmied into from what I understand,
What
so
is
they're
it?
not secured. The glass doors out front,
Yeah.
those are still the ones from, oh gosh,
You have trouble with the locks?
from the 50s probably.
The whole thing needs replaced. I mean, they're broken. There's one door that's,
You
it's
can
just
see through it, it's
screws been
blowing straight
bolted
through
through
it.
it. People have repaired it many times over.
What if we ask for
We've got a solution.
volunteer to help?
Kevin's
That's what
on
we've
it.
done. So
We've
Kevin
already-
Lockhart
Kevin-
works for.
Kevin Rednow.
Or Kevin Rednow, Lockhart, yeah.
Kevin
Kevin Rednow, works for a glass.
Kevin Rednow.
Oh.
Kevin Rednow works for a company that does doors like that, so we talked to him, he said he would be willing to donate labor for sure. And then we're looking at trying to see what we can do to replace those doors, so we've already kind of started working on that.
See, but you can go in and out it now.
Sometimes there was a problem the other day.
Sabrina got,
Sabrina
the key just
Yeah.
got stuck
When
in there.
Milton knows, it's how
You
I
got her
to
in,
meet
right,
him.
Ben?
He saved me, the
Yeah.
key was like stuck in there and I had that.
It's just,
to
I
do-
mean, I don't know how old those doors are. They're
Oh, I mean,
way
they-
past.
That lock.
When I ran the basketball program there 30 years ago, we
Same
had problems
doors.
with the lock.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That lock could be fixed without the doors or windows.
Well, but the doors are broken.
Yeah.
The glass it's been soaked so many times by kids. There's been graffiti. I mean, like it's time for a new entrance. So that's what we're gonna do.
Yeah.
So, it'll help just as people arrive at the building. That'll be the first impression.
Yeah,
they
to
get.
secure it. And it wouldn't
What
take anything right now.
What
for
kind
somebody
of a
to bring it.
budget have you set aside to maintain that thing?
We haven't yet. That's
Haven't
one
done
of the-
that.
So that's part of
That's
our
part of the
policies
thing.
and looking
And that's
into-
why I say we've got to make sure, not that we're trying to make money, but we're going to be paying for a lot of stuff.
So
Yeah.
right now, and it might change, the insurance will probably be around $3,500 a year for the building. So,
Yeah.
so there's the beginning of our budget every year.
Yeah.
We got to
So
try to
we gotta
raise
start
that
with
much
insurance
just to pay the insurance.
Yeah.
Insurance always.
Yeah, so insurance and there's, I'm sure it's highly.
And like I said, we've been lucky the schools leaving it on their insurance until we get it transferred over, so.
Yeah, and we've got to make sure we have heat for this winter coming up. I mean, like I said, I think we're down to one. Yeah, if not, then you're looking at trying to figure out how to make sure you don't have pipe freeze.
So did you bring that building into the fold to increase your assets as well, just like?
We are, yeah, that's one of the things we're working
Okay.
on is building our capital assets, which we, like I said, we had none until
Okay.
the ambulance, and now the building would be our second asset. We're supporting that as well. But. So yeah, there's a lot of things to sit down.
Thank you.
Hey, thank you guys. Is there obviously any other public comments? None? All right, I just need a motion's been made to adjourn the meeting. I'll second.
Good, we can go watch the film.
All those in favor? All right.
Thank you,
Meeting
guys.
is officially
Appreciate all
closed.
of it.
Appreciate you guys coming.
When's the next meeting of yours?
October 20th,
October
will be
20th.
in this room right
There'll
here.
be, yeah, we'll go over the budget. So if you want copies of that, like I said, we can give them to you. Or